Hello, welcome to behind the scenes at Grease the Musical. You could say we're kind of in one of the back classrooms at Rydale High right now.
Not very glamorous.
Not very glamorous, but I can see some T-Birds jackets and, of course, Mr. Tom Parker, who is Danny Zuko. How are you?
Yeah, good mate, yourself?
Yeah, really good. Good to see you. We were in last night. It's a bit of a show, isn't it?
It is. It's a really good show. It's a really fun show. Especially for me, this is my first musical, so it's just a really good company to be part of, and yeah, I think it's just non-stop from start to finish, and I think that's good. I think some shows you can get a bit bogged down with emotion. I think with this, it's just like power straight through. Yeah. So yeah.
It is just, it's a whirlwind of great songs, great dancing. Yeah, you've got a bit of a love story going on in there as well, which gets everyone's heartstrings. But for you, what was the reason to come into Grease?
Well, originally I auditioned to play Teen Angel, so I was only meant to do one song in the show. And then they called me back a couple of weeks later and just said, listen, do you want to come back and audition for Danny? So I'd not had any musical theatre experience before. When I was only 20 when I got in the band, so that took over 5 years, 6 years of my life. So when they called me and asked if I would audition, I was I wasn't hesitant, but I was very dubious about it because I know I've seen West End shows and I know the level of performing that you have to get to. So yeah, it was something that I was a little bit sceptical about at first, but I went and I just went, I'm going to take the audition. I think it's good to meet these people. I said that I wanted to try new things at the start of this year, and yeah, they offered me the job, and I feel like I'm still learning something new every day about musical theatre. The majority of these guys have trained for some of them 5 years, some of them 8 years to do this job. So for me, I feel like it's still a bit of a learning curve, but like a really good learning curve.
And when you think about the days with The Wanted, you had the boys with you. When you were out there belting Sandy, and you're all on your own, how does that feel?
It's pretty nerve-wracking, actually. I mean, even doing stuff like this is nerve-wracking for me. Because when you've got 4 other people to back you up, and there's always someone to jump in, there's always someone, there's always someone to bounce off. But then when you're on your own, you're in it, and you kind of just have to take everything on your like by yourself. So yeah, it's that's been definitely a learning curve over the last 2 or 3 years.
And Danny Zuko as a character, iconic.
Yeah.
A fair few big boots to fill. Let's start with John Travolta.
Yeah.
But is there anyone you've kind of done research into when you're thinking about your Danny?
Yeah. So there's a guy. I don't know if have you seen Grease live?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
In the LA version. So he plays it a little bit differently to John Travolta, and I feel like John Travolta created such an iconic character in Danny Zuko that you don't want to differ too far away from it, but you don't want to copy it. And I feel like I feel like I play it a little bit younger than he does. I feel like he's a little bit older himself when he plays it. I feel like he brings that a bit more of an older character to it, whereas I feel like I might, because I look a bit younger than John Travolta, I feel like I play it a little bit younger as well, which I think is nice because I feel like when you come and see a theatre show, you don't want everything to be exactly the same as the film, and you get everything you need from the film in the theatre show, but it moves in a different way. Like the sequence is different, and I feel like everyone everyone puts a different spin on the character, which I think is quite nice.
Is there a certain song that stands out for you?
I really like Grease Lightning. I think it's such a great part of the show. I think everyone knows it. Everyone knows the moves. You can see people in the audience doing this all the time. It's hilarious. So yeah, I think that's probably my favourite number in the show actually to perform in.
And you have to say that is the number, of course, with all the T-Birds together.
Yeah.
And watching you with the T-Birds yesterday, you're thinking, do you know what? They look like actually they're good mates out of it.
Yeah.
It seems to come across that way. Is that what you're feeling with the cast?
Yeah, it definitely is. They're a really, really good bunch of, especially the immediate guys that I'm with, the T-Birds. Really, really good cast. But everyone's a really, really down to earth. We all socialise out, after the shows and stuff. We all go for drinks, and yeah, it's just a really nice company to be in. So that's good.
What are you learning from say, the likes of Danielle, who of course has a huge amount of musical theatre experience, Louisa as well?
Yeah, I learn a lot from Louisa and Danielle, like in terms of the acting, more so from the singing from Danielle. I think theatre's definitely got a certain style, and it's very stylistic. And coming from a pop group, I feel like I'm really starting to engage with my voice. I think when I was in the band, it was just like get on stage and sing, lads. You know what I mean? But I feel like this is definitely a certain style, and because we're doing so much of it, it's 8 shows a week. There's a way to place your voice, and I mean I've learnt more about my voice in 3-4 months than I did, in the 6 years of being in the band. So I think that's kind of nice. I feel like there's always something to learn of someone that has got the experience, which is good.
Are you still getting all your fans from The Wanted on the Grease tour?
Yeah, do you know what? It's not as crazy. I think it's really tough for some of the fans to be in this environment, because theatre's a lot more respectful, and that has definitely been something that I've had to adjust to, because especially in and around London, they're a bit more like sit and clap and really appreciative in a much more quieter sense. Whereas when you go to Glasgow, I mean, it's literally anything goes. They may as well be on the stage with you, because they're literally just wild up there. But I think compared to The Wanted, like, this stuff is tame, like really tame. And that was definitely a learning curve for me. Because when I first came off, I was like, do they like it? But I think it's only because I've been used to such like rowdy audiences when I was in the band that that was tough. And I think it's tough for the fans as well, because when they come in, they kind of adjust really quickly to be like, right, we're going to be wild, and then everyone's there like, and then they have to be like, okay, yep, we'll just clap too. You know what I mean?
With musical theatre, have you got any other favourites apart from Grease, if you had to pick a favourite couple of songs from the musicals?
Yeah, do you know what? I went and saw Ghost a couple of years ago in town in London, and it was literally phenomenal. And so Sarah Harding, who I did the jump with, she played Molly last year, I think it was last year. So Ghost is I love it. I genuinely love it. And then I went and watched School of Rock a few months ago. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's incredible. It's genuinely I've seen quite a few theatre shows now. I think that's probably my favourite, apart from Grease.
And actually thinking about School of Rock, with obviously you've got all the kids playing the band there, that's a pretty incredible band, but the band you've got behind you here, that just brings such a dimension.
They're amazing, genuinely. I played with some pretty fantastic musicians, but these guys are phenomenal. And I mean, without them, genuinely, there would be no show, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, they pretty much are better than us in every aspect.
And now you're in this musical theatre frame of mind. Let's say the Grease tour finishes. If there was a role out there that you went, do you know what, I quite like this, what would it be?
Do you know what? So I've really, really enjoyed the acting side of things. And I've not done that much of it before, but I really, really, really have enjoyed it. And there's a show in town at the moment in London, the Shawshank Redemption. And I love the film. It's genuinely my favourite film of all time. And I don't know, I'd love to play even just a small part in that and just get a little bit of more acting stage experience. That'd be really cool. So who knows?
We'll see. But for now, it's all about Grease. Tom, thanks so much
Cheers,
for your time. And of course, you can see Grease at the New Victoria Theatre all this week.